Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tea Time.
Hello. We've got our new friend Kim from England with us today.
Oh, hi, ladies. We are just, when we do tea, we say it in our English accent. And so Niesje and I just felt that we would just start it off with an English accent.
Kim's obviously been practicing her accent for 45 years.
I definitely have. I've tried really hard. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're watching this, we just want to say hello, welcome. We are so excited. This is episode 2 and of Tea Time on Wednesday. No,
Yes.
Tea Time on Tuesday.
Tuesday tea time.
Tuesday Tea Time. There it is. And so today it's Niesje and Kim.
Yay.
Yay.
Cheers, Kim.
Cheers. Yay.
Hope you guys brought your tea. We're excited for just a fun time of sharing some things that are on our hearts and getting to engage with you ladies on some things that God's been doing in us. So thanks for being here.
Yeah. So we're just going to jump right in. You know, we were talking the other day and I have just been having some stuff stirring in me. And then it was interesting to talk to Niesje because it kind of all went together and we're like, well, we're on at the same time anyways. And so this worked out really well. Yeah. So I just have been talking to the Lord a lot lately about just the hard things that have been happening in life and where is he in the midst of it. And I've been thinking about where do I see him in those moments? And am I paying attention to where he's at and what he's doing? Because I think so often we have these big things that we're needing him to meet us in. We have these big things that we're like, gosh, God, I need you to show up in this. And he's not always showing up in the ways that maybe I want him to show up or in the timing that I want him to show up. Yeah. And so then am I missing how he is showing up? And so I've just been thinking about just my time as I go through my day. Do I have my eyes open and am I paying attention to just even the little things? And, you know, the other morning I was preaching on Sunday morning. And so it was a couple days before and I was preparing my message and I was just struggling. I was struggling with some personal things that were going on in my life. I was struggling with what I was going to face on Sunday. There was just a lot of stuff weighing upon me as I was preparing my message. Yeah. And I woke up that morning and honestly, I will tell you guys on Friday mornings, it's my day off, but when I'm preparing for Sunday, it's not my day off. I spend the day just spending it with the Lord and writing and going over my message and everything like that. And it was a Friday morning, and I woke up to the sun shining in my room, which I probably should have gotten up and went to my workout, but I didn't. I slept in. And
hey, rest is holy.
Right, for real. And so I was laying there and I knew that I needed to check my email for some stuff at the Relief Center. And so I checked my email and I had a very long, amazing, encouraging email from a friend. And we had talked earlier that week, but she didn't know all the extent of what I was going through. But she had shared some stuff with me, and it was like the Lord was just starting to minister to my heart as soon as I woke up that morning. Wow. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm crying in my bed, reading this email, just like thanking the Lord for meeting me. And then it was about 5 minutes later, after I'm like on Facebook looking, that Garris sent me a text. And I was just like, okay, what the heck? And it was so encouraging. He didn't know I was preaching on Sunday, but he had a word for me. And as I was reading that text, I just felt the Lord just say, I see you. I know everything that you're walking through and I'm with you in this. And this encouragement is going to get you there, you know? And it was one of those moments where I just thought, man, do I miss those moments of when you're doing things? Because I hope I don't. Yeah. You know, I want to be thankful in those moments and realize that he's meeting me every step of the way, you know? And it's as easy as I was at the Starbucks drive-thru a couple weeks ago and I got to the line to pay and they said, oh, the person in front of you paid for you. Wow. And I just felt like the Lord just was like, there you go. Yeah. Enjoy your day. Yeah. You know, and I did pay it forward, just so that you know. I did pay for the person behind me because I felt like the Lord told me to do that because maybe somebody behind me needed to see the Lord as well.
It's amazing how like contagious generosity like that is. Those little moments, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
It's so true. So it's just those things where I want my eyes to be open, and I want your eyes to be open to the things that the Lord's doing throughout your day. And it could be a text from a person that you hadn't heard from in a while. It could be, I got a text the other morning. It sounds like I get a lot of little glimpses of the Lord, but I got a text from a friend the other morning. It was a Saturday, and I just got this text, and she said, "I left you something on your car." And I walked out to my car, and tulips are my favorite thing. And there were 2 yellow tulips in this little vase. And it was just this cute little, flowery vase. And I just thought, gosh, God, I needed a touch from you today. And my friend heard you, and she answered that by helping me out here and giving me a gift. And I just think I so appreciate those moments, and I don't want to pass by them, but I want to embrace them and say, thank you, Lord, for that moment. And, I was reading through, I was thinking about this morning or this podcast, and I was thinking about how I want my eyes open. And the Lord brought me to Jeremiah, 29:11. We know this. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and to not harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." And then it goes on to verses 12 and 13, which I love, which says, "Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and you will find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord." And it's like, okay, God, I want to seek you with all my heart. And in the midst of all the chaos, everything that's going on in our world, everything that is happening to me personally, I don't want to miss what you're doing. I want to find you. I want to seek you, and I want to find you in the midst of all of those things. Yeah. So that's just something that's been on my heart. I'm just praying for you guys to be able to see Jesus in those moments as well. Like, what is he doing in you? And I would just love to hear comments from down below. Like, if you just want to type those in, where has Jesus been meeting you? What things has he been showing up for you in? Yeah. So
that's so good. And I love that, Kim, because we could listen to this you share and be like, oh, well, God's just constantly talking to Kim. Yeah. But I think the reality is, no, you've just taken time to collect those things and write them on your heart. Yeah. Like scripture tells us, like, write the things that the Lord has done on your heart, write them on tablets, put them down on stone. Right. And we're actually going to lead you girls in a fun activity in a few minutes that will actually be demonstrating this. But I love, Kim, just the faithfulness in your life to record the moments of the Lord, because I think for a lot of us, those little texts from a friend or from whatever come throughout the day in a whirlwind, and we forget them. Yeah. But actually, when we take the time to collect them, they're like flowers in our vase, that just fill us with, God, you love me. Yeah. And so it's just the difference of it actually shifts our mind to noticing those things. Yeah. So I love that. So beautiful.
Well, and it's the importance of writing them down, I think. Yes. For me, I know for me, I remember things as I write them down. And so my journal, I'll go back and go, oh my gosh, that did happen. Yeah. Because I wrote it down and I remembered. And I it's really important, I think.
I so agree with you. Yeah. I think that's been something the Lord's been reminding me of too recently. And as we've been talking about process, it's winter. Yeah. As we know, it's the season of winter. And I think sometimes the Lord works really metaphorically with me in the midst of winter. And what's happening in the physical is also happening in the spiritual. And so I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's not a lot of leaves growing on the trees or flowers springing up right now. And I feel for many of us, many of the people I've been talking to in my own life, there's a proverbial winter happening where I'm not seeing like tons of fruit on the tree. I'm not seeing these leaves. And in some ways, in some relationships and experiences in my life, the enemy would even tempt me to say, look, it's dead. Yeah. Look, it's completely dormant. But dead is different than dormant. Yes. And I just felt like this thing is stirring in my heart, and this reminder of like, God put the seasons in play for a reason. And winter is this time of ceasing and halting and dormancy when everything is under the surface. And I feel like my heart cries out sometimes like, but this is dead, And he's like, no. And I read about this recently, but in winter, under the surface, actually there's like thousands of microorganisms breeding and teeming with life, and it's all under there getting ready to, like, basically the roots are going deeper than ever in wintertime. Yeah. And that's so they can sustain the seasons. And the soil is getting I don't know what the word is, but like basically the nutrition is coming back into the soil.
Yeah.
And it's being refreshed and renewed so that spring can burst forth in a few months.
So
So in the places, I just want to encourage you guys, and God's been telling me this for myself, but like in the places that feel so dead, what if we actually saw them the way he saw them?
Yeah.
And we said, that thing's not dead, it's just dormant.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. You mentioned Fridays when you rest, and you rested instead of working out. And I just felt like the Lord, even when you said that, Kim, be like, that's actually okay for some of us in this season. We need to be okay with, like, winter is a rest time.
Yeah.
And for some of us, we don't know the difference between resting and shutting off. Those are different things.
Yeah.
Like, there's true rest where we go inward and there's a hiddenness that's happening, and that's where the Lord just like brews with us and heals us and does things in our heart, and no one else is a part of that process or sees it, and that's actually okay. Yeah. But there's a difference between like rest and then actually just like piecing out and being like, I'm done with this. I'm going to cope in all my other ways, and I'm not actually connected to the Lord. So like shutting down and rest look very different. And I love that though. Intentional rest is part of winter, and it's you watch plants do it. Yeah. So it's like, how much more for our own hearts?
Well, and I think maybe for you guys that are moms, I think that might be a little bit harder. I mean, we're both single women. And so I know for me, Friday mornings are quiet. No one's doing anything in my house, and I can find that.
Yes.
And
that's
so
true.
I just want to pray, I just want you to know that we're praying for you as moms that are trying to find that time, that there would just be, I don't know, that you would just find that rest with the Lord, whatever it looks like. I don't know what it might look like. I know for me, I can even just be baking. Yeah. And it's like, I'm not shutting off, but I'm just resting as I'm baking. And so I just would pray that you guys would find, maybe even seeking the Lord and saying, how do I find that rest? Because my life is a little chaotic here. I got toddlers running around and they need me all the time. Yeah. And I would just say, you know what? The Lord is so creative, and he has places for you to find rest. Yes. So whatever those look like, find them and enjoy them.
Yes. And rest doesn't mean no activity. No. Rest can look so different for all of us. And so we do just invite you to ask the Lord, like, Lord, help me be creative with this. For me, it's honestly, sometimes working out is the most restful thing, or like running in nature. And it's really just that place where you're getting to worship and connect your heart to the Lord and cease striving, cease trying to figure this stuff out in your head, letting go of relationships that may be weighing on you. It's a space for just you and the Lord. So whatever that looks like, we do pray for that for you ladies. Yeah. Yeah. And there was one other thing on my heart, just praying for you girls. And as Kim and I were talking the other day, this theme of process came up in both of our lives. And I know for so many of us, that's where we're at. So yes, winter, we're in a winter for a lot of us. And it's this promise that spring is coming. If things are looking dormant, spring is coming. Right. And also, I feel like there's a lot of us that we've had prayers or words that aren't fulfilled yet in our lives. And I know I've been asking, like, Lord, what about this word you spoke to me? What about this thing that you promised? Mm-hmm. Where is that now? Yeah. And I mean, like, if you look at my life and some of the things he's promised, it looks like the exact opposite is happening of what he promised. Yeah. And Jesus was just reminding me of something that when I was in school of ministry and writing, Bill Johnson shared this word with us about prayer. And I remember just experiencing God. It went so deep in my heart, and he reminded me of it this week, and I just felt to share it with you ladies. But essentially, the word was, when you are asking God for something in prayer, sometimes the Lord immediately puts you into a process that will build the capacity in you to then house the answer to the prayer.
Oh, come on.
So actually, God immediately answers you. Yeah. But he sticks you in a process that is building your capacity, giving you the tools, actually walking you through the things you'll need to answer that prayer. And for many of us, we're like, I just want the answer right now.
Right now.
And he's like loving dad who's like, I know that you want to like climb a mountain, but maybe you're 5 years old and you don't actually know how to use crampons and how to use, like all the stuff that you need to actually climb a mountain in the season. Like you have to build capacity and skill. Yeah. And I feel like there's many of us who are in processes right now that God is actually having you in that process to answer a prayer you prayed a long time ago. That was, God, make me an indestructible lover of people.
Yeah.
And now maybe you're in some relationships and some moments where that is being tested.
Yeah.
But he is answering the prayer that you had that said, I want to be deeply gracious and loving and patient.
Yeah.
Or, God, I want to have an incredible marriage.
Right.
And maybe he's walking you through some stuff in your marriage that's it feels the exact opposite. You're stripped away. And maybe there's things that are coming up and showing the ugly.
Yeah.
But those things have to be exposed in order to get to that place of peace in yourself together. And, it could be even a career thing where like there is something that you feel so called to, and maybe you're at home with your kids and it doesn't feel like that dream or that gifting or calling on your life is anywhere close to being fulfilled. And I just want to speak to your heart that the Lord does not forget what he says yes to. He doesn't forget the prayers that we've prayed, right? And so he is in the process with you, and maybe just spend some time and ask him today, this week, God, what is a prayer I've prayed that I don't see the answer to yet, but you have me in a process to answer that prayer.
Yeah.
You have me in a process that's building my capacity to actually someday take hold of that answer.
Right.
So we just want to invite you girls to do that. And we have a fun activity we'd love to share with you.
I just want to say something really quick about process too, is I think that those moments of process, if we allow ourselves to walk through process, is an invitation for us to even grow deeper in our relationship with the Lord.
Always.
And if we are so determined that we need the answer right now, we want that thing right now, I think that we're actually ripping ourselves off from what he is wanting to do in our relationship with him and us.
Yeah.
And so I just think that there's such an importance in the process that we can't, I just don't want to see us get ripped off just because he can give us that thing right now.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, he can do the impossible.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's so important that we just recognize he's not dangling it out here in front of us and playing a game with us.
That's right.
But he's just saying, hey, there's importance in every step that I have you walking in towards this, which I'm promising your heart. And so I know for me, that is hard, and I have to come back to that all the time and go, man, if I would have gotten that a long time ago, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be the person I am today, walking with the Lord and the relationship I have with him today. All those steps to this point have been very, very vital.
Yes.
And I don't want to look back and go, man, I really wish he would have answered that prayer. I do, but I also know what he's doing in the process of this, and it's important.
That's right. He's building the authority in you now to actually answer the promise that's on your life.
Yeah.
But if you don't walk through the process with him, we will miss gaining that authority and that connection. That authority is really our connection with him, our steadiness, our rootedness in him. And it just reminds me of, I love Graham Cook, if you ladies know Graham Cook, but he asks this question in moments of suffering and pain: God, what do you want to be for me right now that you can't be for me in any other season? And so we invite you girls just to ask that question and have fun doing a creative little journaling. And so Kim and I are going to show you some examples, but this is something that I do regularly that really has been a part of changing the way I worship and even the way I see God. Like Kim was saying, finding God and all the little things he's doing. And honestly, just taking a few minutes to write it down and seeing it takes it from our right brain. Our right brain is experiential, and so it's like emotion and experience of God. And then we actually write it down. It connects it to our left brain, because our left brain then sees it and reads it and goes, oh, that is true. And our left brain is our reasoning, our cognition, all of that, our language. And so when we actually write something down or verbalize it or add like art to it, it cements it in our whole being. Isn't that so cool?
It's so cool. It's so cool. So one of the things that, we have just been thinking about and wanting to do is just ask you guys to join us in this. And Niesje, she had this idea, but I was like, it's how I connect with the Lord all the time.
We both do it.
So as he gives me a word, maybe someone speaks a word over me, as he gives me a scripture, as he gives me a song, I oftentimes wake up in the morning with a song. And so the first words on my journal, I'm like, actually, I love to creative write, like to really do the pretty scripts and stuff. And so I'll write out the words to the song because that's the the song I woke up to that morning.
Beautiful.
And then my journaling for that morning, my time with the Lord, comes out of that song, whatever it is that I woke up to. And so I know for me, like one of the things that I have done is when things are super important to me and my heart is like, oh, I need to just hold on to that. And I need to see that. I write it down somehow. And so I have this thing. So Jan Elkins, she writes blessing books that we have all probably received at some point. But she wrote me a blessing that she put in her second book. And it was called The Blessing of the Best. And she wrote it for me, I don't know, a year or two before the book came out. And so when the book came out, it was like, it's in print, but it got me. Okay, it got me. And there is a line in that blessing that I wanted to remember. And it was, excuse our little alarm here. Sorry about that. But there was a line in the blessing, that she wanted me to remember, or that she wanted me to have, that I wanted to remember. I wanted my heart to see and go, God, I know that's your truth for me. And so I even put it in a frame. And it sits on my dresser, and it says, may your heart be undone by the exquisite miracle reserved for you. Woo.
That's
right?
Good.
And it's a part of this whole blessing that she wrote me, but that was the one line that got my heart. And so for me, I was like, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it in a frame, and every day when I go to get my socks and my underwear and all the things, it sits right there, and I read it and I speak it over my life. And I know, God, you have a miracle for my life that I'm going to be undone by, because it's so just between me and you, and you know exactly what I need. So
yes,
that's
I
one
love
of my
that.
things. So,
I love that so much. And so we want to invite you ladies to do that. Maybe you want to sit down and actually just write out or draw something. I know for me, visual is a really huge thing. And this was something that I learned years ago, and it helps me capture these little moments in my journal. Yeah. And I actually find them quicker. You know, if you're ever going through your journal to find like, where was that word? If there's just a little picture, it like pulls me back. And so I'm going to show you guys this. I don't know if you can actually see it with where the camera's at, but it's just a quick little quick line drawing of a flower and then a few lines. This literally took me 3 minutes. Yeah. But so I'm like, mom's at home. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be an artist to do this.
Just, like, it's connecting your heart to that moment.
Yeah, it's for your heart and mind to remember. Yep. Oh, that's what that was about. Yep. And so for me, it was this quick moment, this flower. Someone gave me flowers, and I wanted to remember. And it was like a way of building worship into my everyday. Yeah. So I just wanted to remember, oh, God, you've put such amazing people in my life. And so I just wrote a few lines of thanksgiving to him, of like that emotion and that thankfulness where I saw him meeting me along the way. And so we invite you to do that. You could also do like a little watercolor swatch. It doesn't have to be fancy, just something for your brain and heart to go, oh, yeah. And maybe you have some other examples.
I just had this other one. A friend, Carol Perkins, she actually made this for me one time, and it was the word hope. And it was a year of my life that I just was struggling with hope. Yeah. And so she just doodled. She did this Zentangle with the word hope. And so I have it hanging up in my office. And so every time I see it, it just encourages my heart, and it brings me back to some moments in year that I remember that the Lord was meeting me in. So
beautiful.
It's so important.
Yeah, it's so important. So ladies, we would love to invite you guys to do this week. And if you feel like it, obviously these can be very vulnerable and very personal. So don't feel that you have to share. But if any of you would like to, we would love, put them in the comments. Yeah. And we would love to just be encouraged together with these little moments that we want to capture and be like, God, we do see you in our process. Yep. You're here with us.
Yeah. So we love you guys. Yeah. Thank you for joining us for this. And just, I don't know. This was just a really fun moment, I think, for us, that we get to share just what we're going through. And we would love to hear from you guys of how's the Lord meeting you? Mm-hmm. What has he been doing? What little things have you been seeing him in? And then just, I don't know, just share those with us if you want to.
And remembering that question, like, where are you in a process that's actually fulfilling a prayer you prayed a long time ago? Yeah. And we just bless you to see the Lord in all of the little moments this week that maybe he's been just handing to you like little flowers. Would they collect in your vase, in your heart this season? So we love you, and we'll see you for next tea time.
Yes.
Next Tuesday.
Tea time next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.